Hello everyone and welcome to Sinful Gaming. Hope you're all doing well, hope you're all staying safe, and I hope you're all reading that backlog of books on your bookshelf. Today we've got another Black Library review for you, and this one is Realmslayer by David Guymer. This is an audiobook about none other than Gotrek Gurnisson, the myth, the man, the legend himself, the dwarf that cannot be killed, the slayer who cannot fulfill his slayer's oath. And let's get into it. First of all, for those who have no idea who Gotrek Gurnisson is, there's a fantastic series of books released in Warhammer Fantasy times, all different Slayer books, from Troll Slayer, Rat Slayer, Demon Slayer, Dragon Slayer, and a whole other host of Gotrek Gurnisson called Gotrek and Felix novels released in the old world that you should definitely go check out to get some of his backstory. However, what's great about Realmslayer is that it doesn't need you to have read these books. You'll get plenty of idea who Gotrek is and about his past just by listening to this fantastic audio drama, Realmslayer. What this audio drama is about, it's about Gotrek coming back to the mortal realms. Gotrek, obviously, at the end of the old world, he had a little bit of a situation where he went into the realm of chaos and freed a chaos god and went to do his bidding, and now he's going and doing his own thing in the chaos realms, and then eventually he comes out into the mortal realms thousands of years after the world that was had died. The world he knew and loved and grew up in had died. Gotrek is much worse for wear, having spent all that time, but also much more bitter and cunning than even he was before. This story just follows on Gotrek's first experiences of the mortal realms. It really shows someone who has no idea what's going on, and is very much, I guess, a way of... I imagine Gotrek is those people who are not very fond of Age of Sigmar because he sees everything in a sort of negative light, we'll put it that way, and it really does remind you of all the naysayers about Age of Sigmar. That's the easiest way to put it. He's an old grumbler. And so that's where we follow the story. It really just is him getting back into the mortal realms, and he meets some fire slayers at the start, and then it's all about an unfolding story from there. Gotrek exploring the mortal realms, really setting this character up for more stories later down the line, but it is a fantastic story in its own right. My favourite character in the book, and why, well, it's definitely got to be Gotrek. I mean, he is the main character, and it's really great seeing this character evolve into someone who is now an Age of Sigmar character rather than a Warhammer Fantasy character. I think in Age of Sigmar, where they've taken these old Warhammer Fantasy characters and given them new life, Gotrek is a perfect example of one they've done really, really well, where he slowly changes, and they show these changes from how he sees things and how he feels things over the book. The audio drama, and really gives you this sense of change in his character by the end of the story, which is fantastic. These characters do feel real because Gotrek is this old grumbler from the old world. A lot of people may actually find a lot of connection with him on like their first thoughts of when Age of Sigmar come out and goes, oh, that's stupid, or that just seems weird, that doesn't make sense. All those feelings a lot of people had when Age of Sigmar first came out, and Gotrek feels the very same way about him. And it really sort of gives you a connection to the character. That many of us had these odd feelings about Age of Sigmar at the start, or didn't quite understand it, and you can connect with Gotrek on that level and have all these other characters telling you like, oh, that's fine, this is fine. Very much like, I guess, your local Games Workshop employees and Games Workshop themselves were telling you at the time. It really does give you this sense of connection. I think it's really smartly done. The story does keep you guessing because Gotrek himself is rather erratic within the story because he has no idea where he is. He doesn't know the consequences. He doesn't know people who have consequence in this mortal realm. He knows names that get thrown about here and there because obviously there are other characters that exist in the mortal realms besides Gotrek that he would remember from the old world. I mean, you've got to remember his connections with things like Teclis. He's seen Teclis before. He knows who Alariel is. He knows Sigmar. He knows... various other characters, especially some of the bad guys you'll get to explore in the story as well, like Nagash, for example. But yeah, it really does keep you guessing, and it's a really cool adventurous story showing the mortal realms really, really well. My personal favourite part of the book is, like, it definitely is Gotrek once again, and his the way he sort of embraces the realms by the end of the book potentially, or the way I wouldn't say he embraced them by the end of the book, but that pathway that he gets from that path that he builds, learning more and knowing more about the mortal realms as you progress throughout the book, and by the end of it he knows a bit more than what he knew at the start. Emotion wise, like, you can feel connection to Gotrek. Like I said, you feel that you remember all those times in Age of Sigmar at the start when you weren't quite sure about what was happening, and Gotrek sort of leads you through all these emotions again. And it's really great, like those feelings of suspense and like what's happening next, what just happened, why is this like this, what happened to what I loved. All those emotions come rushing back in this audio drama, and it's fantastic. And yeah, it just keeps you listening. And what should be, I guess, most important that keeps me listening is I think they found the perfect voice actor for Gotrek Gurnisson. Brian Blessed does an amazing job of bringing Gotrek Gurnisson to life. He just has that boastful, bombastic, over the top, like overbearing sound to his voice that just suits Gotrek so well. It's also rather funny when you realise that Brian Blessed also does the voice for Daddy Pig from Peppa Pig. If you have children, you might know what that is. If not, it's probably wasted on you. But it's always funny that now I can't see Peppa Pig with my daughter without imagining Gotrek Gurnisson and imagining Daddy Pig fighting off the worst in the Mortal Realms. But that's beside. I think they really picked a great voice actor to do Brian Blessed, and if any character deserved, I guess, a more professional touch for voice acting, it was definitely Gotrek, because he is such an iconic character from Warhammer Fantasy. I mean, he's the best-selling series of novels from Warhammer Fantasy. He's the Gotrek and Felix novels were fantastic books, all in their own right, and without a doubt is the most lasting series. People who don't know Warhammer read that series. But yes, let's talk a little bit about the things, I guess, negatives. And I do feel that, like, for the most part, the book does cover its bases really well, with you not having to know who Gotrek is, but there are little instances, I guess, where you might not get some sections of it without having previously read or listened to audiobooks containing Gotrek. You might not get every little tidbit that is dropped in there if you don't know who this character is, at least a little. But I think all in all, it's pretty great book, and there's some characters beside him that you really do feel connected to by the end of it. For me, though, the people who are going to enjoy this book, obviously, is anyone who's read about Gotrek before. If you've read Gotrek and Felix, this is the next step and bringing you into Warhammer Age of Sigmar. I definitely recommend giving this a like, and even if you're not particularly fond of Age of Sigmar and you are an old fantasy player, I would recommend giving this, because this might get you into Age of Sigmar, just reading about this character and how he feels very much like some people do, as mentioned. But for me, it's a great book, and so time to give it, I guess, a rating out of the 8 Realm Stones. And for me, this is going to get full marks. This is going to be 8 out of 8 Realm Stones. I think this is an absolutely fantastic audio drama, top to bottom. Gotrek is portrayed really well. It's an amazing voice actor doing it. They've just done everything well. It showcases the Mortal Realms to their fullest and gives you all these great scenes throughout the entire audio drama, and just everything about this is well done. Massive props to David Guymer for putting this together. It's fantastic. I know writing audio dramas is very different to writing a novel, but you've done fantastic work putting together the scripts and the connections between all the characters, and a special props to everyone who does voice acting on it as well, Brian Blessed and everyone else who partakes in it as well. You've all done fantastic, bring these characters to life. I think this is probably one of, if not the best thing Black Library have ever produced, personally. I really do think so. I think this is one of the best Black Library things I've ever read, and if not the best Black Library thing I've ever had read, listened to, whatever you want to say. But that's all for today. So we hope you enjoyed the video. If there's any Black Library books you'd like us to review in the future, please do let us know in the comments down below. And don't forget also to like the video and subscribe to the channel to keep up to date with all the Black Library reviews that we do in the future. A special thank you to all the people though who support the channel on Patreon. You're all fantastic people. Thank you so much to our Sinful Guard Militia, Christian Weir, Philip Ward, Cowspawn and Soren, and our Sinful Free Guild Regiment members James and AJC. Thank you so much for your additional support for the channel. If you'd also like to help more and support the channel on Patreon, you can do so by following the link down in the description of the video down below. Lastly, in the description as well, you'll find a link to our Discord server where you can come in and make your requests even more heard about what you'd like to see us review from Black Library over there. But also, you can come chat with me and other members of our fantastic community there. But that's it for today, everyone. Hope you enjoyed the video. Once again, stay safe, stay well. Most of all, keep fighting that war against the grey. And also, read those books on your goddamn shelf.